The unthinkable has happened. Lewis Hamilton, the 7-time world champion and Mercedes icon, has officially begun his journey with Ferrari, completing his first laps at Fiorano in Ferrari red. This seismic shift leaves Mercedes reeling as their former star joins forces with their fiercest rival, reigniting his drive to conquer Formula One. With fans already rallying behind him and the weight of Ferrari's 18-year title drought on his shoulders, can Hamilton deliver the championship glory Mercedes hoped to keep out of Ferrari's grasp? Before we jump into the topic, take a moment to hit that subscribe button. The test drive at Fiorano was conducted under challenging conditions that put Hamilton's adaptability to the test from the very start. The weather was cold, damp, and foggy, creating a less than ideal environment for a driver's first outing with a new team. Despite these obstacles, Hamilton emerged from the garage at precisely 9:16 a.m. local time, ready to begin his journey with the Scuderia. Hamilton's test vehicle for the day was Ferrari's 2023 F1 car, the SF23. This choice was dictated by Formula One's testing of previous cars' regulations, which place strict limits on the amount and type of testing teams can conduct outside of official sessions. Over the course of the day, Hamilton completed approximately 30 laps spread across 4 separate runs, covering a total distance of around 100 kilometers. The test session saw Hamilton utilizing both wet and slick versions of Pirelli's non-race weekend Academy tires. This variety allowed him to experience the car's behavior under different grip conditions, providing valuable insights into the SF23's handling characteristics. Hamilton's lap times averaged around 1 minute per lap, a figure influenced by the cold weather and the small mistakes that naturally occur as a driver familiarizes himself with new machinery. Observers noted several small lockups and instances of running wide on corners, typical signs of a driver pushing to understand the limits of an unfamiliar car. Hamilton's reaction to his first Ferrari experience was one of uncontrolled enthusiasm. He described the test as awe-inspiring and one of the best feelings of my life. The British driver drew parallels between this momentous day and his very first Formula One test, highlighting the significance of the occasion in his illustrious career. Hamilton shared, "When I started the car up and drove through that garage door, I had the biggest smile on my face. It reminded me of the very first time I tested a Formula One car. It was such an exciting and special moment, and here I am, almost 20 years later, feeling those emotions all over again." Hamilton's excitement extended beyond the driving experience itself. He expressed deep appreciation for the passion that permeates every aspect of Ferrari, from the team members to the devoted tifosi. Hamilton remarked, "I already knew from the outside how passionate the Ferrari family is, from everyone in the team to the tifosi, but to now witness it firsthand as a Ferrari driver has been awe-inspiring. That passion runs through their veins, and you can't help but be energized by it." From Ferrari's perspective, this test was crucial for team acclimatization. Team principal Frédéric Vasseur emphasized the importance of the day, stating, "As is the case every year, the first time you go out on track is a bit like the first day back at school, and quite an emotional feeling, especially today as it was Lewis's first day as part of the team. Welcoming a new driver is always an important moment." The test wasn't solely about Hamilton, however. His new teammate Charles Leclerc also played a role in the day's proceedings. After Hamilton completed his morning session, Leclerc took over the SF23 for some wet running in the afternoon, completing 14 laps. This division of driving duties highlights Ferrari's balanced approach to driver development and team integration. Vasseur commented on Leclerc's involvement, saying, "Maybe today was less special for Charles, but it was good to see him fit, relaxed, and keen to go racing again." Despite being officially designated as a closed-door event, the test attracted significant attention from Ferrari's passionate fanbase. Reports suggest that thousands of tifosi braved the cold, murky conditions to line the circuit's perimeter fencing, eager to catch a glimpse of their new hero. Such was the fanfare surrounding Hamilton's first week at Ferrari, which kicked off with a visit to the team's famous Maranello headquarters on Monday. A state of emergency was reportedly triggered in the region. The atmosphere was electric, with fans chanting Hamilton's name and waving Ferrari flags, creating a carnival-like environment that belied the official nature of the test. Hamilton, ever the crowd pleaser, took time during the lunch break to greet the assembled fans. This gesture of goodwill further cemented the bond between the British driver and his new Italian supporters, setting the stage for what promises to be a passionate relationship in the seasons to come. The media frenzy surrounding Hamilton's Ferrari debut was intense, drawing inevitable comparisons to other legendary driver transfers in F1 history, particularly Michael Schumacher's move to Ferrari in the mid-1990s. Like Schumacher, Hamilton joins Ferrari with the weight of expectation on his shoulders, tasked with returning the Scuderia to championship glory after years of drought. From a technical standpoint, the test served multiple crucial purposes. Beyond the obvious goal of Hamilton familiarizing himself with the car's handling characteristics, it provided an opportunity for the British driver to begin learning the intricacies of Ferrari's engine operations. Having spent his entire F1 career to date with Mercedes power units, adapting to the Ferrari engine represents a significant challenge for Hamilton. The test also allowed Hamilton to start building a rapport with his new race engineer, Riccardo Adami. The driver-engineer relationship is crucial in F1, and establishing effective communication and understanding early on will be key to Hamilton's success with Ferrari. Adami, who previously worked with Sebastian Vettel and Carlos Sainz, brings a wealth of experience to this new partnership. Looking ahead, Hamilton's integration into the Ferrari team will continue with another test session planned at the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya later this month. This additional running will provide Hamilton with more valuable seat time in the Ferrari car, allowing him to further refine his understanding of its characteristics and continue building relationships within the team. The next major milestone in Hamilton's Ferrari journey will be the launch of the team's 2025 car on February 19th. This event will give fans their first glimpse of Hamilton in the latest prancing horse machine and set the stage for the upcoming season. Following the launch, the official preseason testing in Bahrain, scheduled for February 26th to 28th, will provide the first real indication of Ferrari's competitiveness for the 2025 season and how quickly Hamilton has adapted to his new environment. As the 2025 season opener in Australia, March 14th to 16th, draws closer, expectations for Hamilton and Ferrari continue to build. The partnership between the most successful driver of his generation and the sport's most iconic team has the potential to reshape the F1 landscape. Hamilton's move to Ferrari is undoubtedly one of the biggest transfers in F1 history. It brings together a driver with 7 world championships and the team with the most constructors' titles in the sport's history. The expectations are enormous, with fans and pundits alike speculating on whether this partnership can end Ferrari's 18-year wait for a driver's title. Hamilton's departure from Mercedes marks the end of one of the most successful partnerships in F1 history. During his time with the team, Hamilton secured 6 of his 7 world championships and helped Mercedes to 8 consecutive constructors' titles from 2014 to 2021. This period of dominance reshaped the F1 record books and cemented Hamilton's status as one of the greatest drivers of all time. The move to Ferrari presents Hamilton with a new set of challenges. At 40 years old, he will be looking to add to his already impressive legacy by bringing success to a team that hasn't won a driver's championship since 2007. The pressure to perform will be immense, but Hamilton has consistently thrived under such circumstances throughout his career. Ferrari's decision to sign Hamilton is a clear statement of intent. The team is investing heavily in its future, combining Hamilton's experience and proven winning ability with the raw speed and potential of Charles Leclerc. This driver pairing is arguably one of the strongest on the grid and positions Ferrari as a serious contender for both the drivers' and constructors' championships. As Hamilton continues his preparations for the 2025 season, the excitement and anticipation within the F1 community continue to build. His first laps in Ferrari Red at Fiorano may have been just the beginning, but they represent exactly what Mercedes had long feared. Their star driver, rejuvenated and ready to challenge for glory with their greatest rival. The stage is set for what could be one of the most captivating seasons in Formula One history. Aston Martin's bold move to bring Adrian Newey on board is shaking up the F1 world. The mastermind behind Red Bull's dominance will start in March 2025, aiming to revolutionize Aston Martin's 2026 car under new regulations. But with a rough 2024 season, structural challenges, and sky-high expectations, can even Newey's genius deliver a miracle? Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our future updates. Adrian Newey's move is not just a simple team switch, it's a major shift in the F1 landscape that could transform the entire sport. But why is this move so significant? Newey isn't just any engineer, he's the Michelangelo of Formula One car design. Over his 19-year stint at Red Bull, he's been the architect behind a staggering 8 drivers' titles and 6 constructors' championships. And let's not forget the RB19 from 2023. A car so dominant it claimed 21 out of 22 race victories. That's the kind of genius Aston Martin is bringing on board. Now, you might be thinking, great, Aston Martin's going to be unstoppable now, right? Well, hold your horses because things aren't quite that simple. Aston Martin is pinning their hopes on Newey to catapult them to the front of the grid. But they're coming off a tough 2024 season where they didn't even manage a single podium finish. Newey's primary focus will be on designing Aston Martin's 2026 Formula One car. Why 2026, you ask? That's when F1 is introducing a whole new set of regulations, including revised power units. It's like hitting the reset button on the entire sport, and Aston Martin wants Newey to work his magic and give them the edge. But here's where things get really interesting. The experts are weighing in, and they're not all convinced that Newey alone is the answer to Aston Martin's prayers. Anthony Davidson, a respected voice in the F1 community, had this to say, "I think it takes more than just Adrian Newey really does. Well, you look at some drivers in top teams along through the seasons. The cars Adrian Newey and great engineers and designers have made wouldn't have won world championships if it wasn't for the ultimate driver there to keep it sailing along." Davidson's not pulling any punches here. He's reminding us that F1 is a team sport, and success depends on every single element working in perfect harmony. It's not just about having a genius designer, you need top-notch drivers, a crack pit crew, and a well-oiled machine of a team behind it all. David Croft, another F1 pundit, chimed in with his take on Aston Martin's challenges. "We can take the point, Ant. Aero is important, but if your vehicle dynamics aren't any good, the chassis is not any good. You can bolt whatever you want on there, it's still not going to work. I think the problem with Aston Martin is, I think there's been a disconnect between various departments at Silverstone, and there's not a cohesion working across all of the engineering departments, and that's kind of what needs putting right." Croft's hitting the nail on the head here. Aston Martin's issues run deeper than just needing a star designer. They need to address the fundamental disconnects within their team structure. It's like trying to build a championship-winning car with mismatched parts. It just won't work. But Aston Martin isn't sitting idle. They're making big moves to prepare for Newey's arrival. In a surprising twist, they've announced a leadership reshuffle. Andy Cowell, their group's CEO, is stepping into the role of team principal, replacing Mike Crack. This is part of what they're calling a flatter structure. Crack isn't out of the picture, though. He's moving into a new position as Chief Trackside Officer, focusing on performance at the Grand Prix. Now, let's talk about the man of the hour, Adrian Newey. When is he actually joining Aston Martin? Mark your calendars for March 3rd, 2025. That's when Newey will officially start his new venture. But here's the kicker. He's already 2 months behind his competitors in developing the 2026 car. Newey himself acknowledged this challenge. So obviously, Aston wants to do the best job they can in 2025, but my main kind of focus will be the 2026 regulations and this big change because I start on March 2nd. The aero rules come out, I think, January 1st, or might be the 2nd, whatever the working day is, so I'll already be kind of 2 months behind the curve. But it's not just about being behind on paper. Newey will need to familiarize himself with a whole new team, new systems, and a new way of working. It's like trying to jump onto a moving train. Exciting, but definitely not easy. Former world champion Jacques Villeneuve has dropped a bombshell prediction that's got everyone talking. Villeneuve believes Aston Martin could be the biggest disappointment of 2025. Why? Here's what he had to say. Not because they will do a bad job, but because people are expecting them to start winning because Adrian Newey is there. But he hasn't had time yet to have an effect on the team, so the expectations from outsiders and fans will be misplaced. It will be disappointing not because of bad results, but because they won't be what people are wanting and hoping to see with Newey there. It takes time. Villeneuve's words are a sobering reminder that success in F1 doesn't happen overnight. Even with a genius like Newey on board, it takes time to build a winning team and a championship contending car. So what does 2025 look like for Aston Martin? They've got a new team principal, a restructured leadership, and the legendary Fernando Alonso behind the wheel. But their main focus? That's squarely on 2026 and the new regulations. It's like they're playing a long game of chess, setting up their pieces for a future move. But what about Red Bull? How are they handling the loss of their star player? Christian Horner, Red Bull's team principal, is putting on a brave face. He's dismissing any talk of a rebuild, insisting instead that the team is simply evolving. Here's what Horner had to say. Adrian left in Miami, May 20th, 2024, so he's not been working on any F1 projects since. Jonathan will step off the pit wall in 2025, but other than that, everything remains the same. I would say rebuilding goes way too far for two people that have left. It's evolution. Red Bull isn't standing still, though. They're promoting from within, with Gianpiero Lambiase stepping up as head of racing while still working directly with Max Verstappen. Stephen Knowles is taking on the role of head of sporting regulations, and Richard Wolverson is becoming head of racing operations. But Red Bull's biggest challenge? That's their ambitious 2026 power unit project with Ford. Horner doesn't mince words about the scale of this undertaking. What we're gearing up for in 2026 with our own power unit is by far the biggest challenge this team has ever taken on. This is where our strength and depth will truly come into play. As we look to the future, the big question on everyone's mind is, how long will it take for Newey's influence to show at Aston Martin? Will he be able to recreate the magic he conjured at Red Bull? And how will Red Bull fare without their design genius? One thing's for sure. The 2025 and 2026 seasons are shaping up to be some of the most exciting in recent F1 history.
Lewis Hamilton posted this picture of himself on the slopes. Around the same time, so did Angela Cullen, Lewis's old physio. She can be seen here wearing a red jacket, some would say Ferrari, and in the background, a lot of eager fans have picked up the fact that there's a number 44 sign. Now, hats off to the fans. They've done some research on this, and they seem to think that they're both at the same resort, and this is some sort of clue as to Angela returning to Lewis's side.
Is Angela Cullen making a surprise return to Lewis Hamilton's side? The rumors began with two seemingly ordinary social media posts. First, Lewis Hamilton shared a picture of himself skiing in Colorado, coinciding with his 40th birthday celebration. In the caption, Hamilton wrote, "Another one around the sun. Thanks for all the birthday love. Hard at work already. Talk soon." While this post might not have raised eyebrows on its own, it set the stage for what was to follow. Shortly after, Angela Cullen posted her own ski slope photo. It was the details in this image that caught the attention of crazy fans. Cullen was wearing a bright red jacket, a color immediately associated with Ferrari's iconic Rosso Corsa. More intriguingly, in the background of her photo, there was a sign displaying the number 44, Hamilton's well-known race number. These two posts, occurring around the same time and sharing similar themes, sent the F1 fans into a frenzy of speculation. Fans began to wonder, were Hamilton and Cullen at the same resort? Was the red jacket a subtle hint at a Ferrari connection? And what about that number 44 sign? Could it be mere coincidence, or was it a deliberate nod to Hamilton? To fully appreciate the significance of these rumors, we need to revisit the history of Hamilton and Cullen's professional relationship. Their partnership began in 2015 and lasted until the start of the 2023 season. During this time, Cullen wasn't just Hamilton's physiotherapist. She became an integral part of his success, both on and off the track. Hamilton has spoken highly of Cullen's impact on his career. In one notable statement, he said, "People for sure won't understand it naturally because they see it from a distance, but she has been one of the greatest things that's happened to me in my life." Their partnership coincided with some of Hamilton's most successful years in Formula One. With Cullen by his side, Hamilton secured 4 consecutive world championships between 2017 and 2020, equaling Michael Schumacher's record of 7 titles. He also became the first driver to surpass 100 Grand Prix victories and pole positions during this period. Given their successful partnership, it came as a shock to many when Hamilton and Cullen announced their separation at the beginning of the 2023 season. both parties took to social media with synchronized posts, expressing mutual respect and gratitude for their time together. Hamilton wrote on Instagram, "For the last 7 years at Cullen, Angela has been by my side, pushing me to be the best version of myself. I am a stronger athlete and a better person because of her. So today I hope you'll join me in wishing her the very best as she takes her next steps to pursue her dreams. Thank you for everything, Ang. I can't wait to see what the future has in store for you." Cullen responded in kind, stating, "It's been such an honor and pleasure to stand alongside you. I'm so proud of you and everything you have achieved. Thank you for supporting me, believing in me, and showing me the limitless potential we all have within us." Despite the amicable nature of their split, the exact reasons for their parting ways were never fully explained, leaving room for speculation and now rumors of a potential reunion. Fast forward to the present, and we find ourselves in a very different F1 landscape. Lewis Hamilton has left Mercedes to join Ferrari for the 2025 season. This move, described as the biggest move of the last many years by Charles Leclerc, has reshaped the F1 driver market and sparked intense interest in Hamilton's future plans.